things like people flying down in their own private planes for a discussion on global warming. Those are very interesting
That clashes
scenarios.
the topics and
Clashes with
the
the
image.
whole brand. Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Devleena, your host, and welcoming all of you once again to Icons Behind Brands. I'm back with one more episode, and I have a very special guest with me today. Meet Mr. Amit Kapoor, who is a trailblazer at Cigniti Technologies, wielding the power of content and social media to drive monumental growth. Recognized thrice as a top influencer in content marketing, his mission spans transforming the future of 50 plus million students and MSMEs in India. With 23 years of expertise in viewable content and digital marketing, Amit's upcoming book, MSME, which is Make Millions by Telling Your Story, promises a groundbreaking narrative shift. So join us as he unveils his visionary roadmap, empowering MSMEs and students for the future-ready India through communication, content, and social media mastery. A very warm welcome to you, Amit, on Icons Behind Brands.
Thank you, Devleena. That was a very warm welcome. A lot of it said. Thanks again.
Amit, a lot of interesting things, I could capture from your profile and from your video. I would love to know the kind of journey which you have witnessed so far. What is your journey, especially in content and digital marketing, spans over 2 decades. I'm sure you might have, witnessed that shift in a very massive way. So how have you seen the landscape evolve, especially in terms of content strategy and digital platforms?
Yep. I mean, it's a very wide-ranged question, and I will try to do some justice to it.
Sure.
So definitely, if we are talking about a period of 2 decades, we are somehow talking about a period where Facebook, Yahoo, YouTube, TikTok, nothing. I mean, TikTok was not even there 2 decades back, right?
Yeah.
Insta was not there 2 decades back.
Yeah.
So definitely the whole content, how it is being created and how it is being disseminated, it has undergone a significant evolution. A lot of technologies have led to its growth and further expansion and explosion in ways that we had never thought it would happen.
Right.
And initially, let us say, if we talked about content, right? So content was thought to be just blogs or some website content, or maybe at times some white papers and all. But today, it's not just that. It is grown way beyond. I mean, I think the most popular thing right now is creating videos on YouTube.
Right.
Putting up a lot of posts on Insta. There now it was starting to pick up a storm, but it kind of got stopped. But TikTok has its own following in the countries it is there.
Yeah.
So it is all based on a lot of different platforms and how companies and the content creators are actually going ahead and understanding their buyer personas and creating specific content for them, right? And not just to promote a service or a product or even individuals. Content creation has actually now evolved to areas sustainability and corporate social responsibility also, wherein if companies are doing something, initially they used to think that, hey, we have done something, maybe we should not, we don't really need to talk about it. But now, the more good you're doing and the more environment friendly activities you're doing, there are such big policies and discussions happening around the same. Every company has its own targets to meet regarding content reduction, carbon reaction, and all that. Not
Okay.
content reduction. Content is required more. So, right, and definitely going ahead with voice recognition and AR and VR coming into play. There are a lot more scenarios opening up wherein people who could not really use the content by voice and all, or who don't want to type in and just speak. I mean, of course, Siri and Alexa have all been there for a little while now, but that is still growing and expanding further. So yeah, I mean, another aspect, another area that has come up in a big way is people are trying out with user-generated content.
Yeah.
There is a lot of interactive content being created. There are movies and series like Black Mirror and all, wherein the content can interact and choose to see what they want to see first, and then later, and then it changes the whole direction of the story itself. So yep.
Yeah. So the landscape of content has changed a lot.
Yep.
And the landscape of content, the contribution of content towards marketing is completely a different game right now. So, I mean, I'm sure 20 years, 2 decades is a very long time where you have started, and the way right now we are just talking about content, and it is not just limited towards the organization, but about individuals' own content journey, their own personal branding, and topics like the CSR activities and the initiative which the companies are taking, the organizations are taking. It's very important to convey through content, and how you are conveying that is also extremely important, and that adds a lot of value towards your own marketing strategies.
Agreed.
Yeah. How do you approach the task of aligning content strategies with business goals, the branding goals, especially in this rapidly changing digital environment?
Okay. I'll give you a very recent example that I feel is kind of aligned with this question. I think just a couple of days back, we heard news clipping that Akshay is not going to be associated further with the ad with Shah Rukh and Ajay Devgn for a particular brand, right? And the reason was that particular brand, that particular product was not aligning well with his brand image, which was of promoting health and being fit and all that. Right? It was kind of promoting a product that is not going to be healthy for people.
Right.
So I think he has taken a stand, if I am correct, he has taken a stand not to be associated further with that particular brand, and he has cut off that ties. So now put this into the perspective of any company that is talking about, say, environment or CSR related activities, but goes ahead and talks about things that support things that are on the other side of the line, right? Instead of, say, let us say a company is favoring like environment, but a social post comes up from the company showing team meeting is ongoing, and people have plastic bottles on the table, right? So that social post is definitely going to get a lot of bashing because on one hand the company is talking about environment, and then we're still having plastic bottles. Things like people flying down in their own private planes for a discussion on global warming. Those are very interesting.
That clashes the topics and
clashes with the whole brand. Yeah. So for a company to be able to align with the whole brand imagery and the content that is being created, the brand guidelines have to be very strongly written down and percolated within the teams in the organizations that everybody should follow. and anybody who's not talking in those lines, they need to be dealt with, kind of thing, right? So both long-term, short-term objectives, talk of increasing your brand awareness, right? All these things, like they need to be done on a consistent, very clear basis. Only then the company will be able to. Now, if we move to the business part of it, they will need to generate leads. Otherwise, there will be a backlash that they will have to face. There must be regular content audits that should be done, which to see that, okay, 5 years back maybe we were saying something that was like kind of not aligned to our business that we are doing now, or what we are what we believe in today and what is our future vision. Those content assets should also be done away with, so that it shows that you are not doing something disaligned or not aligned to what is required. Simply put, just stay ahead, stay current with the whatever trends that are there that align with the vision and mission, right? The visual branding images that are created, the posters that are there, or the digital videos that are created, whatever is being created should contain no elements that come as a surprise and a shock for the audience. That, hey, the company I thought that the company believes in X, but it's showing like the opposite. So that will not be good. And definitely the content that has to be created needs to be very clearly thought and then published and even promoted on the social media. So, yeah.
Super. So that's a great point. Before aligning your content in terms of the tech and the stacks, it's very important to align your own organization's thought process, starting from each and every employee and stakeholder should talk in the same language. So the same branding guidelines should be inculcated in such a way that everybody is talking and thinking in the same alignment. So
Right.
which is extremely important for any organization to talk in the similar alignment. And at the same time, I really like the point called content auditing. Periodically a regular check about what you have been talking and where you are right now and where you are reaching, what is your business goal and objective. So is it all aligned towards the similar line or not? So that auditing is very important thought process to put, especially in terms of, I'm sure the big organization have these kind of processes in place, but when it comes to new businesses, brands and startup owners, it's important for them to keep a check about the content auditing part as well.
Yep, sure.
So when it comes to creating a sales driven marketing collaterals, how do you ensure that they are not only persuasive but also informative and valuable for the audiences?
I think the first answer that anybody would say is know your audience. Who are you reaching out? If you understand their needs, you can create content that will align to them, that will be interesting for them. Right. Second thing would be that okay, so you have created a content, let us say any Facebook campaign or a LinkedIn campaign, and you are running that campaign. But in the campaign, the audience that you are choosing and that you are selecting, right? If you are targeting old people, that is your thought. But in the selection, you are choosing like young people between say 30 to 50. If you want to target males, but you are actually selecting ladies, that definitely that campaign will not work out. So first thing is to know your audience, then create the campaigns that actually they work out and they are aligned to. You are careful in putting them up. And one thing is, so your audience, but you still need to understand what are their challenges, what are their pain points. only if you talk about their pain points first and showcase that you really understand them, and then create content that says that, hey, I can help you overcome this challenge, and this is how we have helped others, right? If you have some recognitions to talk about, say from some previous clients, some testimonials, video testimonials, work bundles. If if your organization is at a level where you have been able to get some accolades from, say, the foresters and gardeners of the world, right? They also play a very important role, right? To provide more lead generation kind of a content.
Yeah, they create the trust among them.
Right. And let us say, if you are so one thing is that you create and publish your case studies. But even in the white papers that talk of a bigger issue and a challenge and how overcoming them is important and how you can help. Okay. In the white papers also you can add, shorter versions of those case studies as to what was the challenge and how the solution helped them. Okay. So that creates more trust, right? Colors play a very important part in like the visuals that are created, right? So like, of course, all colors have their own hidden meanings basically, right? Red is for aggression, blue is for peace, green is for environment, whatever. Yeah. So if you want to target a particular company, but the industry that they are in, if you're choosing a color that is kind of anti their whole approach,
thought process,
that will again create a rift in the whole. I think a lot of challenge comes when companies create case studies. So the case studies are created, they are published also regularly, but very few case studies are there that actually have numbers to showcase. People will say that we have helped increase time to market, right? Go to market. We have helped improve savings. We have reduced costs. But how much cost have you reduced? What is the amount that you can talk about that you were able to help the client save? So those things, once that are there, that will have like the real impact. The person will say, okay, I have some numbers, and it is not something just something in the air kind of thing. And things like we have feedback platforms on Google and all, right? That help the testimonials and all. On your website, you definitely must have a section for testimonials and what the clients are talking about you. On each page, actually, you should have them, the relevant ones. That all of these are all separate activities, but eventually all of them come together to create that wonderful experience that an audience would expect from when they are coming to you to solve their challenges. So, and if you seek their feedback, if you are able to help them, and then eventually respond to them when they give you the feedback, that is where the whole thing will amalgamate and do the right justice.
Super. So it shows that each and every collateral, each and every piece of digital paper or the physical paper, it's an opportunity for you to create an experience for your audience and to create that perception about yourself in their mind. So everything is is a part of marketing here. What you just said, like even the case studies, if you're balancing it with numbers and the impact which you have created, satisfying the left and right brain both together, nothing like that. I mean, that's the art. That's how you go ahead in subtly creating your marketing space in the minds of your customers.
Right.
So what strategies do you employ to translate the complex, technical concepts into easily understandable marketing strategies and messages for the broader audiences?
Okay. Before answering the question, if I can, just tell a small bit about my personal journey.
Okay.
So, as my educational background, I did my, BCom, MA English. I did my course from AppTech.
Okay.
2 years course. I learned all Java and hoops and SSADs and Oracles and C,
Okay.
C++, all those things. But by nature, I was always more of a content and literature person. So then I moved
Okay.
on to doing my MA English. I also did
Oh,
graphics.
that's a
graphics
good
design.
shift, different shift.
I did a course in graphics designing. So one of the first interviews that I gave, I started my career as a technical writer.
Okay.
23 years back, if I say. So that was one of the questions that I was asked, that you don't have a BTech or an MTech kind of a background.
Mhm.
So how will you be able to write complex and technical content?
Oh yeah.
My answer to that was pretty much simple, that see, I am here to explain about your product and service
Mhm.
to your client and to your audience in a way that they will be able to read, understand and use, right? I don't have to teach them the technicalities of your business, unless of course there are very infrastructure related documents or complex architecture related documents that I need to really go and explain. But then even if I write those documents will be read only by people who will be an expert in those areas, and they will be able to understand this. So all I need to do is to summarize day-to-day readable language. That is what is expected from me, and that is what I can do with ease. Of course, the first thing would be to use simple and clear language.
Yeah,
right?
that's extremely important.
As I forgot who said, but if you are able to write a content that both say 5 or a 7-year-old kid can read and understand,
Okay.
and a 60-year-old can read and understand,
Okay.
your content is understandable.
Super.
So I think that's
That's everything in a nutshell, actually.
Yes. So you have to talk, and you have to tell stories like how and why kind of thing that connects to the people, right?
Right. And that's the skill that says it all. That less is more in marketing.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So how do you personally stay updated and inspired to constantly deliver a thought-provoking and very engaging content across various platforms?
That if you want to stay updated, you have to keep listening to the webinars and podcasts and people talking about your relevant industry related topics on the YouTube, or even Spotify also I think has a few places where you can hear. One thing that definitely helps is that even on a platform like LinkedIn, right, you can follow a lot of these influencers and thought leaders, what they are saying, how they are talking about creation of content, what are the new trends coming up and how they foresee it changing.
Right.
Just reading these things, that helps. We can subscribe to numerous newsletters and all these things, but sadly, to be very honest, these newsletters actually just end up staying in our inboxes.
Yeah.
We hardly get time. We will keep flagging them, and we will never get time to reopen them.
Yeah.
So apart from that, yes, networking is something. So any event that you actually get an opportunity to be a part of, so the more you listen, the more you attend to such events, the more you read the event, listen, those things definitely help you.
Before we wind up this conversation, I want you to talk for our audience. A lot of them, they are aspiring to become a marketing professional. Okay. So what is your advice for any marketing leaders on their way up?
See, the first thing I think that you would need and you should do is Definitely. So if I'm talking about leaders on the way up, I'm talking about let us say freshers who have just come out from MBA and who have joined an organization.
Yeah.
One of the most important things is that you should not shy away from doing real hard work, slog for long hours, because you are in an age, a prime age, where you can work really hard.
Right.
So when you're working hard, I'm not saying that, just keep on working. When I'm saying work hard, it means to learn.
Yeah.
Observe what your marketing leaders, your senior managers, directors, CMOs, whoever it is, how are they directing the team? How are they, guiding the team? How are they doing that full fine balancing of all the multiple activities in the whole marketing, world? Whether it is like, say for content creation, social media marketing, ABM, go-to-market, digital marketing, social media, your tracking of your Google Analytics, or doing events, branding, writing PR, all that, whatever is being done, just try to, be a part of as many of these activities that you can. Keep learning, keep asking questions. There are some freshers who I know, who will come, and because they are like just interns, say for a month or 2 months, they'll come at a desk, they'll do the job and they'll go home. They are making a mistake. They should go and they should actually knock the doors of the leaders who, and talk to them. Please teach me something from your experience. What are the 2 things you can tell me about, this whole marketing world, right? So when you start to communicate, see, I am a communicator, right? So I'll always say that the more you communicate with people who ask the right questions, that will help you, and you will definitely become. Keep reading, keep attending these events and all that I said. Even as a fresher, nobody is going to stop you from unless of course there's a closed door events. So expose yourself to a whole continuous world of learning, and that will definitely help you grow further.
And these are the few things which makes you different than the whole crowd, I mean, because there are so many people who are in the same position where you are. How you're going to be different? And these are the small simple steps which makes you very different than others.
Exactly.
Super. Great piece of advices, and a great conversation altogether, Amit. We have gathered a lot of information through your experience through this conversation, and I'm sure it is going to add a lot of value for our viewers and listeners. And thank you for being here. Thank you for spending your time on a weekend with us. And it was amazing talking to you.
Thank you, Devleena.